Hey, and welcome back to this episode where we're answering one of your questions, specifically around the topic around communication. The speaker, the listener, and one of you asked from your husband, when does my opinion really matter in the speaker-listener conversation? When do I get to speak, I think, is what he's saying.
Yeah, and it sounds to me like it's coming from a place of I'm always supposed to be the listener, and I have thoughts and opinions too that I would like to share.
Yeah, I think it'd be great if we, first of all, thank you for sending in this question. I am certain, and the reason we're answering this is we know that there's so many of you that have very similar questions. We're having a conversation. I have an opinion. Yours is different. Mm-hmm. When do you get that chance to share yours?
Right.
And many people want to know the same thing.
Yeah. And first, we want to start with, how do I even listen to your opinion? I don't even like the word opinion, honestly. I like to just say thoughts, because a lot of times I think I have an opinion about something and really it's just feelings that are there.
No, that's really good.
And opinions make people wrong. And so if you're coming at this response with, well, I want to share what I think about it because you're wrong about it, then we're going about this the wrong way.
Which is interesting because right before this video, we had an argument about opinions.
Yeah. Shipping. Like how we should go about shipping our microphones that we broke that we really need for next week.
And she has an opinion and I have an opinion, and they're different. And so what a great topic for us to talk about when we just had an argument about this just prior to doing this video.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lord, for that inspiration. That's funny because we brainstormed this before we had the argument. We had the argument right before we were on video.
So welcome. So how do we do this? First, I think let's establish what is the speaker-listener roles and how do we do that?
I want to do the yellow-black card first because they need to know how to listen. He'll be right back. Yeah, and it sounds to me like it's coming from a place of I'm always supposed to be the listener, and I have thoughts and opinions too that I would like to share.
First of all, thank you for sending in this question. I am certain, and the reason we're answering this is we know that there's so many of you that have very similar questions. We're having a conversation. I have an opinion. Yours is different. Mm-hmm. When do you get that chance to share yours?
Right.
And many people want to know the same thing.
Yeah. And first, we want to start with, how do I even listen to your opinion? I don't even like the word opinion, honestly. I like to just say thoughts, because a lot of times I think I have an opinion about something and really it's just feelings that are there.
No, that's really good.
And opinions make people wrong. And so if you're coming at this response with, well, I want to share what I think about it because you're wrong about it, then we're going about this the wrong way.
Which is interesting because right before this video, we had an argument about opinions.
Yeah. Shipping. Like how we should go about shipping our microphones that we broke that we really need for next week.
And she has an opinion and I have an opinion, and they're different. And so what a great topic for us to talk about when we just had an argument about this just prior to doing this video.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lord, for that inspiration. That's funny because we brainstormed this before we had the argument. We had the argument right before we were on video.
So welcome.
So in order to establish how I'm listening to my spouse, we first use a word picture like of a card. And so what you are seeing is yellow, right? And I don't see yellow. I see something different. And so in order for me to be able to see what it is that you are seeing, I have to come over here. And I have to look from your perspective, your life, your experiences, and see how it is you would see yellow. And when I can see that, I'm like, oh, okay, I do see yellow. I don't have the same viewpoint. I actually see black, but I can see how it is you see yellow. And I can really validate, yeah, I get that. I get how you're feeling that way.
Yeah. You can have this opinion of black and see their opinion of yellow and where they got it from.
Right. And it's really important that in that conversation, in order to be heard, which is what we're really talking about here, is validating the yellow and validating the black. And when to share your side, your viewpoint is after the first person sharing really gets seen in their yellow, what it is they're saying.
Yeah. When people get heard, they get complete. And it just happened with us in our argument was we had this, and then I was able to see her yellow and acknowledge her yellow. And she's like, that's all I really wanted.
I just wanted you to feel what I was feeling for a moment.
Yeah. So when people get heard, they get complete. Come over there, look at their point of view. Oh, that's why you have that point of view. Tell me more about that point of view. And you can still have your opinion, your point of view. But we have to, that's how we listen. That's the effective way to listen, is because there's 8 billion people on this planet. And there is an opinion about everything there is to have an opinion about, separate for each person.
Yeah.
Each person has a completely different opinion about everything there is to have an opinion about. And I act like mine is right.
Mm-hmm.
But really, I don't know.
Who says it's right and wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. But it is important that you get seen and your opinion, and you may not be right.
Right. Well, what if we're both right? We can both be right and see each other. And so what happened was when I was sharing, in the argument, I was sharing, you were sharing back. That was telling each other our opinions, right? That doesn't work. It's why we were arguing. And then all of a sudden you made the shift because you were like, I can really see how frustrating that would be and how much work that you go through with the editing process and with our audio and all the issues. And I'm sorry you go through that. And it was like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow, that's really what I needed. Thank you. I just needed him to see that I was like in just turmoil about the work that the extra work it's creating, not having mics that work. Yeah. So you saw that. And then I was like, you know what, honestly, I don't care how you ship it, just handle it and I will just roll with it. So it was like my walls came down about why I felt like we should ship it this way and you felt this way, and so ridiculous. So we're arguing over how to get something shipped.
Right. But in most arguments that way, in most arguments, ridiculous. And most of them are. Yeah. And so let's go back to some fundamentals. Right. So you have now established how you can see each other's opinion. There's other things too, establishing who's the speaker, who's the listener, which we did in the video that you're commenting on. What that establishes is when you're talking, I should be listening, not listening to respond, but listening to understand. What is it your heart's really saying in this? That way I can really hear you. If I'm listening to respond, what I'm doing is formulating thoughts in my head to respond back to something that you're saying. And it's probably a way for me to get my opinion out. Right. Not effective. So listen to understand, not listen to respond. A speaker and a listener. While you're speaking, I'm listening, but don't take too long. Right. Short and concise. Short and concise. Just a few minutes, 1 or 2 minutes. I can't take that long listening to you. I can't go all over the place. I've got to stay in one topic, one area, because it's important that you get heard. Right. And once you get heard, once you say what it is, I don't need to share my opinion. I need to share, what did I hear you just say? Yeah. What was it you just said? And I'm going to say it back to you the way I heard it. Is this what you're saying? Mm-hmm. You have an ability then to say, actually, no, that's not what I said. Or, oh, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, what I mean to say is this. Because we can hear things from judgment, or we can hear things from a different perspective that is not really what you're saying. So it's important to repeat that. Now, once that's done, now you should be complete. I'm complete. So now I'm ready to say, well, what are your thoughts? All right. Now I have the ability to share my opinion. You now have the ability to share your opinion. So it's important. Well, let's just call it thoughts. I like that. Thoughts. Let's let go of the opinions. Let's just share thoughts and feelings that are going on for you. Yeah. Here is some pitfalls I see in this is, where's my heart at in this conversation? Is my heart to be right rather than loving? I'm not going to get anywhere with that. Is my heart to make you wrong? I'm not going to get anywhere with that. I really need to see where my heart is in this conversation. Where is this opinion or thought coming from that I'm sharing? Well, because it's really easy for you to go sharing and re-trigger into an argument with your share. Yeah. So it's just really important you check your heart, check where you're coming from. And if you're speaking from your heart, usually what it will sound like is, well, what was going on for me in that moment is I was thinking about logistics only and how we can get these quickest. And then I'm like, oh, well, you totally weren't seeing what I was seeing. And it makes sense why we were arguing. So that brings up a good point, is always share from you and your point of view, not share, you made me feel this way when you did this. Yeah. That is blame, and that is not going to go good, because she cannot make me feel any way whatever I feel is because I brought this into my marriage, into my relationships. I have my own junk going on for me. You didn't make me feel anyway. But I could share, hey, when this happens, I feel worthless. This is what's going on for me. Not you made me feel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then it's my turn to then be with your yellow and just really see you and validate you. And I can really see how you're feeling unworthy in that.
Yeah. Another thing is coming from curiosity rather than judgment when you're having these conversations. Curiosity is questions, how, what, not why, but how, what. That's curiosity.
So we hope all these tips will help you in your communication around anything in marriage, because really in communication is where intimacy lives. And as you develop deeper communication skills, you're going to develop a deeper level of intimacy that is so rich and fulfilling. If you are interested in deepening your communication in your marriage, we want to encourage you to check out our emotional safety course. This is where you'll discover more about emotional safety and how to have good, effective communication inside your marriage. We'll put a link here for you to read more.
And for the one who submitted the question, look in your inbox. We're going to gift you this emotional safety course. We really appreciate you sending it in. And for the audience, we would love to hear your question as well. Please go to our website, thenoblemarriage.com. Click on Submit a Question. We would love the opportunity to answer your question on one of these episodes.
Thank you for considering subscribing to our channel. Each time someone subscribes, YouTube really looks at that. And the higher you go in subscriptions, we are learning this as we go. And so the higher you go, the more they broadcast your channel, which helps boost it so that more people see it. And our hope and desire is that marriages really receive the healing that you deserve through watching our channel. And so if you know someone who's struggling in their marriage or even wants to take their marriage to a deeper level, send them our channel. And we just thank you so much for considering that and supporting us in that way.
We are excited to introduce to you our online community. It's called Rebuilding Marriage Chapter by Chapter, and it's designed to help you heal from betrayal and rebuild your marriage. We will be offering a wealth of resources, advice, workshops, personal stories, exercises, and so much more. This is in a private setting where you can connect with other couples who understand exactly what you're going through. We believe that healing and rebuilding marriage incrementally is much like turning the pages of a book. And so we wanted to create a unique opportunity for a transformative journey, chapter by chapter, as we write our book, to help each couple rebuild trust, nurture emotional connection, and cultivate a much stronger foundation for your marriage. So we would love for you to join this community. We want to support you every step of the way in your healing. And as we write our book, we will be using our community as a test audience for the content that will be in our book. We'll be sharing the exercises, journaling topics, and other activities that we have found really helpful in our own healing journey. We want to make sure that the book the Lord has called us to write is as helpful as possible for couples who are struggling to rebuild their marriage after betrayal. And we believe that as we go through this content, it will help you heal in a God-honoring way, surrounded by other couples all doing the work to heal. So we would love for you to join our community today and be a part of this transformative journey in your own marriage. So you can click the link to find out more about that.
And how to have good, effective is so rich and fulfilling. And so if you are interested in deepening that, if you are interested in deepening your communication in your marriage, we want to encourage you to check out our emotional safety course. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it is.